Well, good morning, Empowered Soul Network. Another great day here in South Carolina, where I'm pinch hitting as grandpa, as you all know. Just gorgeous, just beautiful. Can't think of a better way to start the day than to interview two really fabulous, inspiring, unique people that have organized a very special opportunity. I want you to hear about that today. We've got Gary Logan and Rob Grover. They are founders and facilitators of the Journeymen Collective. Welcome to Empowered Soul Network, guys.
Hey Paul, hello. How you doing?
Doing great, doing great. So, Rob, starting off with you, tell us a little bit about the Journeyman Collective. That's such a fun, unique name. And I know when we talked before, I wanted to know what that was because I have a history with that particular word, but it was a very special way you shared it. So, tell us about it, Rob.
Yeah, definitely. So the journeymen, we are the journeymen. We guide high achievers, mover shakers, entrepreneurs, executives through luxurious, psychedelic, purpose-driven guided journeys. And that's all for allowing people to elevate from where they're at in their relationships to self, to others, and their business or businesses, and elevating that to a conscious, more aware level. And as we all know, the levels of awareness, it's never ending. And and then the collective is the collective of individuals that we work with, and also the energetic collective of beings that we work with.
Oh, beautiful. I'm so intrigued by this subject because so what you're working with is helping people to open up, right? And to unfold and experience and using special techniques to do that. Mary, tell us a little bit more about that. Talk a little bit more about the experience and the energy of what people experience at your retreats and so on.
Wow, there's so many stories we could share. I think the most important thing is we allow people with the Journeyman Collective to come into the center and just uh, leave all their worries and concerns at the door and able to rest into self so they can explore their inner world of who am I, what is my purpose, and why am I here on earth? And there are many stories that come out of well, there's many people that come out of the journey saying, most important, I found peace, joy, contentment, and more love.
So what makes it work? Tell us about the word psychedelic just sticks out there broad right in your face. Talk about that a little bit. What's that experience of the as much as you can, don't want to give away the trade secrets here, but so what is it that happens when
Mhm.
somebody starts attending the retreats?
So the thing is, one of the things that we witness in culture is that a lot of people actually don't even know how to work with psychedelics. They think, oh, this is just a fun Friday night. No, so that part of our culture has been taken away, and we're here to educate people and prepare people for that experience. So there's preparation involved. So we work with people before they even come with us. It's a 4-month program that we've created for people to come through. There's preparation. There's 4 full days of intensive work. It is intensive. It's to create an image in people's mind. It is a retreat. However, there's no retreating from anything. It's immersive. It's potent. It's powerful, and it's really like one of the resounding pieces of energy that we receive back from people is that they say, I've never received this amount of safety, trust, and love so that I could, as Gary said, rest into self, clear out the old, clear out dissolve anything that no longer serves for self. And that's part of why we facilitate the guided journeys with psilocybin. And that allows the actual mushroom to do exactly what it does in nature. We are nature. And so it allows us to clear out the stories of yesteryear, yesterday. And with that clearing, there's a deeper connection to self and self. And then a deeper level of awareness unfurls from that. And then people start to see reality in a different way, and they recognize, oh, I'm here to create something that's been buried deeply within me, and now I can start to allow those ideas to come into fruition. So we care for people with a high level of integrity and intent and a high level of luxury as well. And it's personalized. And we work with the spiritual, mental, emotional, and the physical realms as well because we believe it's to be embodied. And after people reluctantly leave our care, we are supporting them for another 3 months, and that helps with the integration process. And we know that that word is thrown around in the psychedelic world, but it's really an embodiment of the transcendental information that you've received during that experience. And we teach people how to continue to unzip that zip file that you've been given, and you can continue to unzip that zip file of information so that you can learn more about yourself and actually implement and apply that information into understanding, into action, so that your life actually changes.
Yeah, I mean, beautiful, amazing. So I want to step back a little bit because there are people from all cultures, all backgrounds, all ages, faiths, whatever. Some people may be new to this kind of a conversation. So help us step back to 101. What is a psychedelic? Because a lot of people, Native Americans use peyote, uh, people of my generation of the 60s, there was LSD, there was marijuana, there was all these things that were mind altering or hallucinogenic or what have you. So talk about the basics of that and then the specifics of I know you used a particular word, but the mushroom psychedelic and so on. So we understand a little bit better.
Mhm. Yeah, so psychedelics, that's the trending word.
Yeah.
I think culturally it's more about a plant medicine or fungi medicine. So it's a medicine that we can actually use to discover deeper aspects of myself and others. And when people actually look back, plant medicines have been used for many, many, many thousands of years. So this isn't something new. This is something that has been in the closet and hasn't been worked with because our culture has created this fear-based reality around it. So if you can get through that fear and recognize, oh, it's just fear that I've been told that I'm gonna lose my mind or my head's gonna pop off, or there's so many different myths where like I'm gonna lose, I'm gonna break when actually we're supposed to break the habits of who we are. So the 101 aspect would be that it's either a plant such as a cactus or it's a mushroom, so a fungi. And then specifically for us, mushrooms, what do they do in the forest? They decompose that which is no longer necessary, and then it redistributes that energy out into the ecosystem for that next layer of growth. And then you apply that to the individual. We all have yesterday's baggage clinging on to us, and our culture doesn't support us letting go of that. So what happens is that we develop pain. Dis-ease happens in the body, mind, and soul. And we need more of what we're doing. And it's a it's a process where you get to close your eyes, go into a meditative state, and the back of your eyelids become a movie screen. And there will be different chapters presented to you so that you can actually move through the psychedelic part is usually just the first little bit. Then you get to the journey. And when you can get through the psychedelic part and get to the journey, that's when you start to learn more about yourself. You get to witness who you are in all the different patterns in your life. And from there, you can be like, oh, well, this pattern doesn't work. This one does. I'm going to amplify this. I'm going to let this one go. So it's a letting go. It's a learning process. And it's a way to get present to, hey, why did I come into this meat suit? Why did I come into this body in this lifetime? There's a deeper purpose. And so through that psychedelic experience, it's just a tool that helps you to connect more deeply into the spirit of the cosmos, the universe.
Gary, would you say that and you adjust the psychedelics, right? The mushroom, how that works, but then because of the nature of that, it just starts to help you relax, help you release, help you, break down, as you say. I'm reminded of so many different things related to that. Again, the Native Americans, they go on their vision quest and they sit there for 48 hours, and pretty soon all the intellect goes by the wayside. You're just left with reality of what's coming from the heart. So I hear similarities, and you're helping people use, I think you said, Rob, a great word, a tool to help you move into that more. Am I reading that right, Gary?
Correct. You are learning how to let go of the unconscious habits of holding and thinking. So we teach you prior to coming on the journey on how to let the body rest and let the mind relax. And most people have that extra chatter that goes on in the mind all the time. We call it the monkey mind.
Monkey
And
mind,
yeah,
absolutely.
totally. Everybody knows what that is. And we just say the monkey mind sometimes get a bit loud with its symbols and hitting it together. So it's that wind up toy that we say with the journey, you'll be able to put that monkey on the shelf and call on it when you need to, but you'll realize that all that chatter that was going on was nonsense, that it wasn't really needed. There is moments of aha during the journey. It's like, what WTF was I thinking of being this way? And you come out more relaxed, as I said. You get to work with me with the Alexander technique prior to the journey. And what is that? It's a mind, body, conscious awareness training. So I work with you prior to going into a journey on how to let the myofascia, that part of the body, to release and let go as much as possible. So when you're in the journey that the medicine is taking, working with you, you're able to relax and let go and the body rest into the mat. So it's an amazing part of the journey is when you can actually just release and surrender and just go into the journey.
That's beautiful. Rob said something that I just want to remind everybody that, there are so many different things out there now. There are vitamins, there's herbs, there's essential oils, all meant to help you relax, to release, to let go, and so on. So in some ways, it's out there in our universe now that that are tools to help you to do that. So here's another beautiful example of that. So take me back some years, both of you guys. What led you to this? What were you going through? What were the challenges you were facing that made you explore and dive into this? Rob, why don't we start with you? Tell us
Yeah.
that backstory, brother.
Yeah, so I jokingly say that I grew up in the scientific corporate world, and I still remember my first day walking into a skyscraper in downtown Calgary. I landed on the 29th floor, window office, and in my mind, there was this story like, oh, you've made it. And it's like, this is it. And I just remember this sinking feeling in my heart. I was like, this can't be it. This isn't like the rest of my life in this place. And so as a consequence of that, I became a little bit what people would call ill. And it was a healing journey that I had to embark on, and I started to see, sense, and feel energy. So I thought something was drastically wrong with me.
Yep.
And that started the quest about 20 years ago, to more than 20 years ago now, to really understand more of not just the scientific world, but the metaphysical world. I met a spiritual teacher, and that was like the exact opening. So I needed to be in that city to actually meet this individual who would help me start to understand more of the metaphysical universal laws of how energy worked, different beings and etheric beings who are here to support us in our growth and development. We're always supported. And so it wasn't until 2015 that I finally departed corporate and I started my own coaching practice. And in between that time, anytime that I wasn't at work, I was ingesting and digesting as much metaphysical, spiritual, personal, professional development programs as much as possible. But I was also really focused on applying it to my life. So there was this continual change that was happening. And then 2017, we were married. And then a few months later, Gary's mom, who lived with us for 3.5 years, decided to exit stage left. So she transitioned, she passed away. And all of a sudden, it was like the record player came to a screeching halt. And it was another wake up call of like, what in the heck are you doing? What are you doing here? Because life happens super quickly. It ends very quickly as well. And so every morning, waking up, walking down the hall, seeing her room empty was a vivid and very powerful reminder. Grief, depression ensued through that process as well. And then this little fairy human came into our lives, and she's this wee little creature. She came into our lives and she said, I just started working with this medicine man. You might want to consider that. And I scoffed at the idea because I was like, I've done mushrooms before. I've done mushrooms in university. I've experimented with that. I know what that's all about. I was gladly mistaken, not sadly mistaken. And fast forward a number of months, went on a journey and met it with a high level of intention and respect and reverence. And I'm still integrating that experience to this day, still learning from it, still working with it. And came back from that experience. And the next day I was in meditation and I saw myself training with the medicine man. And I had thought this was the one and only time I'm ever doing this. And I saw myself training with the medicine man. And I was like, oh boy, here we go. And so Gary saw the shift in me.
Yeah, the shift in Robert is like going, mushrooms can do this. You're happier, you're grounded. You're just like, what the heck? So quick backstory is like, how did I get involved?
Yeah.
Yeah, is that I've been in a world of self-discovery since I was probably 17 when I went to theater school after high school. Did 2 years of theater school. And if anybody knows about theater, basically they get you in there. They basically break you apart, sort of energetically. Well, they look at your habits that are interfering with your performance and who you truly are supposed to be as a person, so you're able to perform the character that you need to. So that development's been going on all my life. I went to England for theater also for another 2 year course, had a little 5 month, 5 year hiatus in all of that, and traveled the world. And in that course in London, they introduced the Alexander technique. I had no clue what it was. So I went in, signed up. The teacher said 2 days later, Gary, I think you need to be an Alexander teacher. And I'm going, no, I'm 24 years old. I'm here to be an actor. I'll be a teacher much, much later in life. Um, I don't know. I innately understood what the Alexander technique was, thought and energy and focus and how to let go of the holding pattern that was within. And I found a teacher, stayed with a teacher, and worked with a teacher for 8 years in London. And then when I moved back to Canada, I discovered another teacher. They opened up a school. For 3 years, I went back to school to be an Alexander teacher. And in that time, I was introduced to metaphysical teaching through a church called Unity, a non-denominational. And when I walked in and heard I wouldn't say sermon, I'd say it was a lecture from the minister, I thought, this is home. And I've been with that practice for 25 plus years now and really developed my meditation program. Uh, Thoughts turn into things was a very big learning curve there. I also went to Vancouver General Hospital and worked with the nurses for 2 years in a healing touch program. So developed my sort of call it psychic abilities and other tools in my toolkit that I never knew that were there that other people could see, and just fine-tuned all that. And as Robert says, I met Robert in
2007.
2007 is like time goes. So it's been 17 years and I went on my journey because, because my mom passed away and I was actually experiencing anxiety, which I had never experienced in my whole life. And I thought, what is this? And when Robert came back from his journey, I said, maybe I should go and maybe shift all this. And I always say it was the best birthday gift one could give oneself.
That's
And
beautiful, beautiful, Gary. So I have a question for both of you. Um, Gary, you mentioned the holding pattern. What was holding you back? And so what? So for the people out there that are listening, again, to help provide some definitions, some hope, and some inspiration, how would you define that holding pattern that then you were able to heal, release, and move from? Well, how would you say that?
For myself, the holding pattern was that I was given a story of what life looked like. I was given a story of that you go to university, you become specialized in an area. I did it so much, or I loved it so much, I went and got an undergrad and a graduate degree as well, a master's degree, came out of that and was taught and told that this is what you're going to do and be for the rest of your life. And something just didn't set or feel right with me. So there was the holding pattern was the thinking, the stories that had been imposed upon me, and they were weighing me down. And
Yeah.
and I know that they were all well intended, but they weren't for me. They were someone else's stories that had been glommed onto me. And so I had to really look at those and let them go. And then the other thing was that I had to really step into my true power of who I'm here to be and the leader that I'm here to be for others and commit to it and devote my life to it so that I can have those deeper level conversations so that people can discover their own stories that are holding themselves back.
Hey, would you say, Rob, and then Gary, please address this. Would you say that feeling weighed down, by all those outer thoughts and ideas and opinions and energies and environments and so on, were there emotions that you recognize? Like I'm second guessing myself. I'm feeling more depressed. There's no enthusiasm. Were there things there that you saw in you that also did not seem right?
Oh, definitely. I think the joy wasn't there anymore, the excitement
Yeah.
wasn't there anymore. And when I just said, hey, these are the conversations I want to be having, I don't want to be doing what I was doing in corporate, even though I had already left that. But it was this aspect of I was taught in the scientific paradigm to, in order to accept something, you must fully understand it. And that created confusion because there was energetic phenomena happening with me that no one could explain it
Yeah. Yeah.
until someone said everything that's happening to you is exactly what's supposed to be happening. And then there was like relief. So it was the confusion of, but I've been told this, but I'm sensing this and I'm seeing this and I'm feeling this. And when I lean towards this direction, it just gets better and better and better and better. So, for you,
Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah. Gary, what was the holding pattern for you? How would you define it for yourself?
um, I always say I never was a what ifer. So I always say, sure, that looks good. But I think when my mom passed away, it was like a reality check going, what held me back emotionally was the fear of dying. And it's like time is limited. And it's like I'm looking at my age and going, well, she was 81 and I'm 60. And it's like, holy shit, life is short. What am I going to do? Where do I have to, how fast, how much time do I have? And it's like the journey changed everything.
Yeah.
Stop the fear pattern and realize, life is wonderful. Be here to experience as much as you can. And If it's fear that's getting in your way, learn how to let it go and release. Sure, there's things we're afraid of, but the thing is, if you don't make that first step forward, you're never going to, well, I won't say never, it could be a bit of a challenge to move forward, and people get stuck with their parents' paradigms, their thinking. And we see clients coming to work with a journeyman that want to break the paradigm of their parents' thought pattern, or the institutional pattern of dictating on what you should be and who you should be in life. And we come in and we shake that world. It's like a snow globe. We shake it up, the snow is in the air, and then it's going to fall the way you want it to fall. It's not a blizzard, it's not a hurricane, it's gently falling down into the world that you want to create.
Beautiful, beautiful. So as we wrap up here, guys, I want you to take so Gary, for you, fearful, okay? And through your journey, the opposite of that, a word or a phrase that defines where you are now. Now, so from fearful to
the first words that come to it is like, I'm back in alignment, pillar of strength, and able to work with that pattern that comes in and not be afraid of it, recognize it, work through it, and move forward.
fearful to pillar of strength. Okay, guys listening, I want you to listen to this. From fearful to pillar of strength. How about you, Rob? Weighed down to
I think it was weighed down, confused by everyone else's stories, so that I had forgotten as to what I actually came here for, and then I remembered and do it.
so from weighed down to, what was the word or phrase that
I'd say it was remembering that I came here for a greater purpose.
purpose, the feeling of purpose, the feeling of energy, freedom, right?
Yeah.
I hear both of you guys talking about freedom, spiritual freedom, inner freedom. Just such a powerful interview. I mean, I say this a lot to people because I love these interviews. We could talk for hours. I mean, this is just so much fun. And so we could dive into all the metaphysical things. I love that. That's been my career too. So I love these kinds of conversations. How can we get in touch with you guys? How can people reach out?
Yeah, we have a great website, www.thejourneymen, MEN, collective, one word.com. We're on Instagram and Facebook and through LinkedIn.
All right. Words, Rob. Last closing words.
Ask yourself, what did I truly come here for?
Last word, Gary.
I always end with these conversations. If you take anything away from this, is learn to think with the heart and love with the mind.
All right. Oh, okay, there we go. I just got him. Everybody knows that I get these goosebumps all the time, when we're doing it. And I just got him flooded. My goosebumps are having chills, goosebumps. So pretty powerful. Guys, thank you so much. Gary Logan and Rob Grover, the Journeymen Collective. Please reach out to them, you guys. Make sure, guys, you put the information in the comments underneath, tag people. I will do the same. Stick around for just a minute and we'll find out the takeaways from this interview. There you go, Powered Soul. Got another one coming later on today. A very amazing success in media guy named Jess Todfeld. So make sure you stay tuned in. Masterclass later tonight. So stay tuned. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.